Hey guys, it's a Friday afternoon in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. My name is Jesse. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my experience with energetic attraction. Um, I joined the Gay Man Thriving coaching near the end of 2018. At that time, I was still a full time flight attendant, and despite lots of things that were going well in general, as far as my job, far as as far as life in lots of ways, I was struggling on the inside. A lot of it had to do with self perception. Some of that was related to body image. Some of that was just related to how I saw myself and how I saw the world and other men around me. Um, Long story short, um, I saw Zach actually. He was posting in a Facebook group that was usually dedicated to memes for gay men, and I actually was amazed at the way that Zach was responding to some of the people that were not putting forward the best sort of energy when he had talked about what Gay Man Thriving was all about. But I was just really impressed with how he was demonstrating a better way, a higher energy, as we call it. And yeah, it just really made me curious. So I went to go see more about what he was talking about and what he had written in the group, and it resonated with me. It's like, man, maybe maybe there's something to this. I've tried lots of things to try and improve the way I see myself and the way I can possibly interact with other gay men in the world, but it hadn't really come to fruition at that point in time. So I booked a consultation call, and after that, it was just like, man, I need to try something I haven't done before. As it turns out, that's one of the key tenets that are talked about during the coaching that you get is taking steps out and doing things that you've never done before. So it was a leap of faith for sure, but there was something so impressive and so moving about what I had seen, and then from the call after that, I had to follow up and try something else. So, hi Craig, nice to see you. Craig was enrolled roughly around the same time as I was when we started out in our journeys. Yeah, it was, man, it was an adventure. Some of the things I was struggling with, pardon me, when I went into the program was I had what I referred to at the time as a two-date curse. So what I meant by that was I described it as a variation on Good Luck Chuck. If you've seen that movie before, then you might know a bit of what I'm talking about. But the gist of what I described in the two-date curse is that I would go on two dates with a guy. So the first one would go really well. There would be a second one, and then he would disappear, ghost me, whatever it was. And I just had this sort of mentality that a lot of the time that, oh yeah, you can get the first date, at least you're doing that, but you can never get past the second one. So I just had this self-defeating mechanism going on, and I took that in with me, and it was definitely something I had to address during my intensive time in the program. And directly linked to that was this shift I would do. There was this victim mentality a lot of the time surrounding dating. And then once in a while I would actually blame other people, but a lot of it was sort of this victim thing where I was like, oh, clearly I've done something wrong, or I need to improve what I'm doing as far as the way I'm presenting myself, and think about all the different ways that I could have talked better, or just like overanalyzing it all together. There was this really negative, this lower level energy that I was taking in with me to all my dates and interactions with other gay men. So I would try and plan everything in advance and try and avoid failure, and ironically, it just kind of happened anyway. So I needed to definitely address that. We talk about gremlins in the program, and I had two that I assigned names to. One of them I named Edward. Edward was the gremlin of no matter what I do, I'm not good enough. And the other one was Angelica, and she was do it perfectly or don't do it. They're both related, but not quite the same. But it influenced me in so many ways. It resulted in this all or nothing approach that I took to so many other things in my life where if I couldn't, get it done, why would I do it? Or if I would just barely slip or fail in some way, I would see that as the worst thing ever, and then just kind of spiral downhill until it all undid itself. So one of the things I had to learn that Zach and Andrew were so good at imparting to me was looking at rejection as an opportunity, as feedback, it's as data. Ironically, as someone who studied psychology in university, I'm used to looking at things analytically and as data points, but for some reason I couldn't do that with rejection. So I had to learn to take rejection and see it as feedback, and that's it. So that was really a key thing for me. There were two things I realized in particular about energetic attraction in the program, and one of them was that we can never really truly know what someone else is thinking. Even if they tell us what they're thinking, we can't truly know if that's what's actually going on. And the other side of that is the only person that can make me offended is me, as far as like what someone else says or does or doesn't say or doesn't do. I'm the one that chooses to take offense to that at the end of the day. Like it could be something that maybe is, subjectively or objectively good or bad, but I'm the one that chooses to internalize that or not internalize that. And that was powerful to be able to realize that I have the power to address this and internalize it or not. I have the choice. So that was a big deal, getting to work through that. And I can tell you there were many times through different tapping sessions, we call them. That's where basically you use your hands in different touch points to reinforce different concepts or undo certain mental programming. And I cried a lot when I worked with Andrew in particular doing these tapping meditations. There was tons and tons of crying with Zach once in a while too, but it was kind of a joke with Andrew where it's like every time we would talk, it's like, yeah, I'm pretty much guaranteed to cry by the end of this, and we just knew it was going to happen, but it was necessary. It was a healing journey for sure. Craig, I would love to come back when I am back in the air as a flight attendant, hopefully in a year or so. I will probably have Los Angeles layovers again, so hopefully I will see you there. Yes, Warren, rejection is protection in a way. I would agree with that. Let's see. I wrote a few other things down I wanted to make sure I could share with you. Part of it, the program involves positive affirmations, and some of that includes action, not just saying things. That's important, saying things and reinforcing the concepts, but some of it included actions. So for me, a really poor body image. One of the things that came up when rejection would happen is I thought, oh, well, there's something wrong with my body. There's something wrong with my appearance. So one of the things, besides looking in the mirror and talking about unconditionally loving and accepting myself, was I needed to look in the mirror, and I needed to do it shirtless, actually, which was a big deal for me at the time, and just look and love and accept my body the way it was. That was a really important thing for me. Hi, Craig. Good evening. Shane, thank you. I appreciate that. Terry, thank you. I'm not flying at the moment. I hopefully will be back to flying in a year. That's what I think based on the current furloughs. But yes, I will take care whenever I get back in the air. Thank you. Yeah, so I just spend this time looking in the mirror, shirtless and even naked sometimes, to get used to the idea of, hey, I can look at that. I'm not repulsed by it. And love and accept it just the way that it is. Somewhat ironically, it was only at that point where I wasn't weighing myself down with these negative thoughts, this negative energy. By getting to a place of higher level energy, I actually achieved the body goals that I always wanted to achieve. At the moment, I am the fittest I've ever been. I am 34 years old, and I'm super excited about what's happening with my health and fitness regime right now. I've gotten to a place that I never got to in my 20s. I'm really excited about life right now, actually. I have lost my airline job at the moment, but it's temporary. We have 5 years to get recalled back to flying. So in the meantime, I'm finding other work You might see the map of the world behind me in my name. I am in the final stages of getting a contract to teach English to kids online, so I'm excited about that. And then finding other temporary employment in the Vancouver area in the meantime. But despite losing my dream job, which is flight attendant, and getting to travel all over the world for that job, despite losing that, I am the happiest and most content with my life that I have ever been in a long time. And I think if I hadn't gone through this program in the last year or so, I would have looked at the furlough, at this whole pandemic situation. I would have looked at all of it very differently. But I can't tell you just how valuable it's been to have all the different program elements and feedback. And yeah. Warren, you know it, VIP Kid. Yeah, I'm just waiting in the final stages of them approving my application, but I finished my test classes and passed all those. The background check is done. They just have to finalize the contract, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, I actually have a kickboxing appointment I need to run to really fast here. I'm already way over. Yeah, I'm way over my time that I meant to be on here, but it was just too exciting to have an opportunity to talk to you just about how much this has meant to me. And I've actually gotten to meet some of the men who were in the academy with me as well. I'm hoping to eventually get to one of the larger conferences once COVID calms down a bit and we're able to gather again. But until then, I am off to kick some things at a gym. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I hope that resonated with you a bit. Sending so much love from Vancouver, and all the peace to you.